that's fine. But in general, hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show, the show that is not for entertainment purposes only. Today we're going to be talking about something we've kind of talked about before some, but I got a feeling we need to keep bringing this up because it just keeps going on, and I think it's going to expand. And I think it may be already, but you know how there's all these videos out there of parking lots full of cars with their lights flashing. Um, Maybe lights on buildings or the lights in the parking lot, or maybe a light inside your house flashing for no reason. And it's not like every light in everybody's house is flashing. It's not like everybody's car lights are flashing, although in a few cases, almost entire parking lots. Especially the newer the car, it seems like the more they're flashing. And this is about EMFs. This is about strategic building of technology ahead of time, knowing that a plan was in action to have those types of lights, LED and fluorescent, and the types of lights that are and can be affected by EMF fields, electromagnetic fields, basically current electricity in the air. There is current and electricity in the air at all times. And occasionally there are surges, and there are reasons for these surges. We're going to look at today some of the possible different reasons, look a little closer as the possible different reasons for these surges, and maybe what are some of the things we should be looking out for that maybe we're already seeing that are acting up, you might say, and talk about again what it is that might be causing this. Is it the sun? Is it deities, spirits, demons, angels, things that are beyond the veil? Or is it a combination of both? Or is it all just simply man made to scare us, to freak us out? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to be talking about, we're going to be looking at a few video clips. We're going to be looking uh, at, for instance, Maximum Overdrive. All these lights flashing and cars doing things on their own. If you think about an automobile, why are just the lights flashing? People will be driving down the road in this Tesla or some other kind of automobile, and the lights are flashing, or maybe it's in the parking lot. The lights are flashing. Is there nothing else in the car that would react to an EMF field? Or is this, again, strategically manufactured in order to play out a scenario? We're going to get into all of that and more here today on the Supernatural Show. I have myself here today. I have Miss Kim here. Roxy is at an appointment and can't be here today. will be back next time, and Shannon supposedly will be back also on Friday. So let's jump into all of this right now. But first, real quick, a little, you might say, chance for you to realize it might be a good idea, possibly, to prepare a few things. So I'll be back with you right after this short ad.
Baby, the lights are out.
Calm down. Well, it looks like they finally did it. The psychopaths finally flipped the switch like all the conspiracy theorists warned us that would happen one day. And now here we are, sitting in the dark at 3 a.m. No AC, no fan, no CPAP, no lights, no stove, and the refrigerator and freezer will be melted within 36 hours. What are we going to do now?
And no coffee. I'm scared, honey. Do something.
I can't. All we can do is wait for the lights to come back on.
Why didn't you listen to Daniel on the Supernatural show when he told us this was coming?
If this scenario concerns you as a possible real future event, then you are actually one of the lucky ones, because you know ahead of time. You have the inside information that 95% of the world does not. You were informed by someone whose words of warning you actually trust. This gives you time to prepare. Yes, you may have to make a few sacrifices, like not eating out for 6 months, drinking free water instead of Pepsi, Powerades, or that bottled city water that you tell yourself is better somehow. You may even have to sell that car that is costing you $500 a month. But thank God you're listening now, because here is how your story goes, because you listened to the credible warning from the Watchman.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Oh my God, the lights are out, baby.
Calm down, love. Well, it looks like they finally did it. The psychopaths finally flipped the switch like all the conspiracy theorists warned it would happen one day.
Honey, what are we going to do now?
Nothing. The lights will be back on in a couple of seconds. Remember what we planned. Only one light at a time. And when we cook enough for the entire meals for the day. Babe, turn the fan back on and let's get some more sleep. Our neighbors won't go completely nuts for about 2 to 4 days, so we better rest up. Then we need to roll out Operation Blackout like we planned.
Well, we may not have endless power, but hey, we got power, baby, and I am proud of you. I am so glad we listened to Daniel and the team on the Supernatural show.
So guys, get your preps straight. The TikTok is ticking. And we can't ignore it away. One option you have is a Bluetti or a Jackery solar power backup system. Use the link below the video or visit the supernatural.show website for more information. When you use my link, I get a small thank you that may help me and Miss Kim get our own solar power backup system, because we too need to prepare. Thank you for using our links to make the purchase. So here we go into the flashing light phenomenon. Now, I've talked about this before, and I've explained how all the lights that have been manufactured in the last 20 years are all susceptible to EMF fields. So this isn't a new subject, as most of you may know. But I think we can't Society is built right now to make everybody forget and move on to the next exciting thing every 10 seconds. TikTok. Or at least every day. They've always got something going on, don't they? Something new. Something was shot up somewhere. Something blowed up somewhere. Somebody's about to go to war. How many times have they told us in our lifetime that we were going to get blowed up with nuclear weapons? And well, that ain't happened yet. And for most of us, that will never happen. But there are things that are going on that we really should not just continue to ignore, and we should come back to them sometimes. And this phenomenon of lights flashing is, I think, one of them. So we're going to jump into that. However, I wanted to reply to Day in the Life of, she or he says, Daniel, the last 6 months, my headaches and neuralgia, pain are off the charts, pressure and headaches. Well, I don't know enough about your situation, your lifestyle, to really know exactly what to say to you. I know you're saying in the last 6 months. And yeah, it could be frequency induced. Are there other people out there who are having weird things go on with their bodies, like headaches, or just things that maybe somehow could be linked to all this EMF activity that we're seeing that is continuing to increase? And of course, the other day, we had another blast come off the sun, as they say, that lit up the auroras all the way from the Arctic, down into literally the Gulf of Mexico, America, whatever you want to call it, because changing the name of something only affects the minds of the people, has no attachment to the actual reality, is that it's just a giant body of water and nobody owns it. They might patrol it, they might ride around it, they might think they own it, but they don't own it. Just like we can never own anything truly in this world. The only thing we can truly own that isn't, or own, is something that's not physical. And that is our knowledge. And that is our choices that we make. We can own that. If y'all guys have some things that are going on that are similar, leave it in the comments. I'm going to be trying to pay attention to the comments more today than kind of normal, than I normally do, you might say. Hello to everybody out there. I see all y'all guys that I normally see here. And like Curious Georgia, Mike, of course, Super Dave, Day in the Life, Patty, 5 Gallon Phillip. Let's see what 5 Gallons got to say. Here's a pro tip for you all. Buy a camper and live in it without electricity. They're prepped. You will realize 99% of the e-junk you rely on in the Matrix is 100% useless in terms of survival. You're right. And speaking of that, while that commercial was running about the solar banks that I'm kind of semi-promoting, what I'm promoting is preparation. But I was thinking, they manufactured the LEDs to fulfill a job, which they're doing right now. And they manufactured all these different lights to fulfill a job and do this flashing thing that's being seen. They manufactured our phones. They manufactured all this stuff. And all of it, for the most part, especially when you're talking about electronics, was manufactured by them, or at least overseen regulated by them. And you say, well, that's manufactured by this little company. Well, if it is and it goes worldwide, it's selling or available and advertised on television, it's something they want you to have. And there's a reason for it. And like he was saying just now about the camper thing, you know, we can't survive without electricity. It just takes getting a little used to it. One thing I learned when I was in the military, when I joined the military, not that I'm proud of it because I ain't, but I learned a couple things. One is that your body can handle much more than you believe it can, so far as like endurance and um, ability to adapt. As well can your mind. You can get used to uh, almost just about anything. It takes a little while to adjust, but if the lights went out and they just didn't come back on for months or longer, right? It would take, so I realize there'd be chaos and things going on, but it would take, so far as getting used to it, about 3 weeks. And you will have adjusted psychologically to the new reality. So the lights going out is not a death sentence. Okay. Would I like to have one of those solar generator power bank things? Yeah, I probably would. Um, would I like to get one if I could? Yeah. But I really more want something like that because I think I could adjust really easy, but it would be hard on other people more. Like Miss Kim sitting over here. I think it would be harder on her than it would be me. And I can't help but want to protect her and protect other people around me, but especially her because I love her. And sometimes when you try to protect people, it's hard. It may not seem like you're trying to protect them sometimes. But anyways, I think that in 3 weeks we could just about adjust anything. The general public, there would be elements of it that would just go bonkers, if the electricity was out. Or even if, say, the electricity's not out, let's just say it's undependable. Or you have all these electronic devices that are not reliable and they're just doing all kinds of crazy stuff, you know. We're going to look at a little bit of that today. Let me look through the comments just a little bit more. And I'm looking for comments that maybe I need to respond to. Well, thank you, Crystal Fire. But actually, to be honest with you, it's a deception. It's a veil. It's not real. I wouldn't want you thinking something that wasn't true. So yeah, it's a background, it's a backdrop, and it fits my concept that I have, which is called Beyond the Veil, which many of you have seen the red curtain opening and closing and things like that. Like here's an example of it. So I needed something. There's windows back here, and there was a lot of backlight, and you couldn't see me, or it was very difficult. So I had to put up some kind of a backlight. So we ended up finding this one, and we went with that. So there's that. I don't like the idea of deception. So there's that. Let's see what else we got in the comments here real quick, and then we're going to jump right on into this subject matter. Live music says in Houston, when it's over 100 degrees, it would not be easy at all to adjust after 3 weeks. We've been without power for freezes. Right, when it gets cold. I didn't say it'd be easy, but you can do it. You have to have water, but your body is capable to deal with it. Do you want to? Do I want to? And it doesn't get over 100 degrees here for weeks. It can get over 100 degrees here in South Carolina, but not generally for weeks. So just to give you something hopeful to think about, you can adjust. And you would if you had to, because it's easiest to adjust to something you have no choice on, if that makes sense to you. All right, let's see here. So 5 Gallons said one more thing, or in other words, getting used to being uncomfortable is the prep most people need. It's what I've been doing to prepare, and of course, prayer. Yeah, one of the things I've done myself related to that, getting used to being uncomfortable, so you make the uncomfortable comfortable. One of those things is throwing down all materialism. Okay, there are still some things I use. One, there's certain tools I have to do this show to be able to communicate truth and words of wisdom and teaching to those that want to hear it. And there's a few like tools I need to do gardening, and it's all necessity stuff really that I try to acquire these days. Even clothing, like I've said before, like this t-shirt I have here. It's just a raggedy old t-shirt, and it's got holes in it and stuff, and like this big hole down here, and some people are concerned, like, well, don't you care about what other people think? Nope. The day I stopped worrying about what other people think was a day of freedom. And it will be for you too. And I realize it's even harder for you ladies out there not caring what other people think, as in men, and especially not caring what other women think. It's very difficult. But if you can achieve it, it's a level of freedom that is it's awesome. That doesn't mean that you do things or say things or you're mean or anything. It just means that you're not concerned with what other people think. That you don't allow them to mold you. You be you. You do you. Thank you, 5 Gallon Philip. I hope you're a subscriber. Love to see you in here again. I just haven't recognized the name before. And yeah, you need a little tribe. That's right. You do need a little tribe. Absolutely, you do. All right, let's see. Crystal Fire says, I bought cast iron outdoor cooking utensils for prep. Hey, it's okay. Those books ain't real. What matters is in that beautiful mind of yours. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. Kind words go a long ways these days. Let's see what else we got here. And then we got to get to the content. I've got some water filters, like some that would help you drink out of a ditch. I've got a little prep bag in there that I've been putting together for years, really, and got like some lighters in there, some matches, some water filter stuff, a water bag to hold some water, knives, an axe, things that will make things a little bit easier if you had them and you didn't have nothing else and you needed to try to survive somehow. Um, those things are important. We certainly can trust on our Father in heaven to protect us, and that is the most important. But at the same time, He expects you to be wise. He expects you to be wise. Let's see. We'll get to the content here in just a second. What I'll be doing is when I'll take this show and other shows like this, I'll rebroadcast them a lot of times, depending on the content. I'll rebroadcast them. Like I'll probably, whenever I start talking about the main content today, I'll come back and edit the front end of this out and just put the main content and rebroadcast it as a premiere either later today or tomorrow or something like that. So that's why I'm not as worried about it. Let's see. Sorry to say, for most part, Americans, for the most part, are soft and not hardened, thanks to Big Daddy government. Yeah, that was the plan, wasn't it? That was the whole reason they invented food stamps. You know, you can take a horse or a cow and you can put them in a simple fence, and as long as they've got food and water, for the most part, they'll stay. You might find a rebel every once in a while, but they'll stay. Even though they have easily the ability to leave, they won't. And so they have intentionally softened us. And I would encourage y'all guys to throw down luxuries. Think about the things that you use or the things that are in your life, and try to throw down a lot of it just because of what he's talking about here. Um, they make you soft. Even having an air conditioner in your house makes you soft. I get it. I got one over there and it's running right now. I get it. But they make me soft. It's more comfortable, but comfort leads to discomfort a lot easier when those comforts disappear. Absolutely. 5 gallons back. Meekness is often mistaken for weakness. It is strength and freedom all at once. Thank you for using technology to spread the great message. Yeah, throughout my life, I have always been exactly the way I am right now, but I've always been really nice guy, really easy to get along with, concerned for other people's well-being. And throughout my life, people have seen that as weakness. Um, you can be too kind, though. When you're too kind or too meek, you'll get run over and taken advantage of. We've all been there. Let's see here. Yeah, Miss Honeybee 22. Please like, share, and subscribe. I should probably make you let me open your channel here. And I'm going to make you a moderator either right now or before the show's over with. I've been seeing you around and you try to help out like Mike does and Super Dave and a couple of others. You try to help out. So I don't mind people trying to help out. Yeah, the Lord does love a humble and meek of spirit. Well, thank you, Crystal. Let's see here. Chlorine dioxide drops will clean water from parasites so you can drink it. Dr. Jim Humble protocol. Check it out. Cleans parasites. Yeah. And thank you, Patty. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any too big of comment stuff, and I think I'm able to read at the bottom. So let's go ahead and let's get into the main subjectry of the show today. All right. So what you're looking at here, most of you probably recognize, or some of you recognize that. It's off of a YouTuber's channel called. He goes by Mr. MMB333. Most of you have run across him, and he's not a truther. Doesn't really do the kind of work, but he does have a lot of viewer interaction, and they send him in a lot of information. And what this map is here is of the light flashing phenomenon that he's doing his best to track on a map. Okay, so this is the East Coast over here on the right, West Coast on the left, Mexico down here where you see where there's basically no light flashing going on. And then you'll notice that there's a strip of no reports of lights flashing, even though he's had like 1,500 videos submitted or more than that maybe, that runs all the way up through the center of the United States. It's like, I mean, it should not be that way. This means there's something about this area of ground that is affecting this EMF ability wherever it's coming from, which I have a couple of theories, obviously. It's affecting and not allowing it to be as prolific, okay, through this center strip. It like runs up through West Texas. It's all like the plains out there, like the desert plains, right before you get to the actual mountains on the West Coast, like up into Utah and all of that area. You pretty much, you still got all the light flashing going on. But in the central western United States, in those big plains out there like Nebraska and stuff, all the way down to western Texas, you've got this area without lights flashing. And I find that very interesting. And I seen where someone had made a comment, and they said, it just occurred to me that in the regions that are above sandstone layers are not affected so much. Sandstone is made of quartz crystals, which store energy. Think quartz crystal watches. We've talked about the quartz and all this kind of stuff in crystals recently. So perhaps the flashing lights stuff doesn't happen in sandstone layered areas because they act as a shield from solar electromagnetic fields by absorbing the EMF flares. The EMF flares. Well, that's assuming it's coming from the sun that's causing it. Could it be the sun? Yeah, I think it could. Is it the sun? I think maybe partially, because I mean, you can see when the auroras hit, the amount of energy and electricity in the skies and in the heavens is off the chart. But is it all just that? I don't think so. I think it goes across a gamut of things. If you have, I mean, it's a known thing. If you look into literature and even into the Bible, you can see where spirits or deities, whether it be angels, demons, different things, when they are present, they can affect the EMF fields that are around wherever they're at. And they even play it up in movies like Stranger Things. And like in the KFC commercial that I had at the beginning of my little commercial thing I did with me and Miss Kim. The lights flashing on the gas station and the car surging. The car is rocking, surging. And that also made me think about like Maximum Overdrive. And I've heard it mentioned a couple of other places. And it's like knowing that they intentionally built the cars and a lot of the lights to do all this flashing stuff. It will be interesting to see what else they have intentionally built them to do. We're going to take a look at a little scene from Maximum Overdrive here in just a couple of moments, or at least little pieces of it. I can't really play it because it's probably copyrighted and I'll get copyrighted. And they've been harassing me enough lately. I don't need no more. Yeah. So Sandstone, interesting. And I thought another thing too. I thought, well, of course, if all these wireless cars, unless somebody's charging them up, we couldn't have a maximum overdrive situation where, all this equipment started running on its own, right? It already can drive itself, but somebody need to charge it, right? Maybe not. Because electric vehicles can be charged remotely without a wire using wireless charging technology. This is achieved through inductive charging. Inductive charging or inductive EMFs is exactly what is causing the lights to flash. You see, when the lights are flashing on the cars, it's not using the car's battery. It's coming out the air, literally, likely. Okay? They don't have to use the car's battery. It's like the light in a parking lot or the light in a house. It's off, but it goes to flashing. It ain't your electricity that's making it flash. It's actual energy that exists in the air, also in the earth as well. There is energy in the earth, the ground, the opposite of the positive, which is above, and the ground, the negative below. That's why they called it the ground. It's right in the word. Okay. And so it would be interesting if they've built these cars so that when the time is right, they can charge them. Either you say they maybe under the right circumstances, maybe even the sun is charging them a little bit, right? Or maybe they're being charged from above, and you could come up with whichever scenarios you want. Or maybe they're being charged by 5G, or maybe they're being charged by the cellular towers. I mean, there's potential. I think there's potential. Yeah, Christopher, there's no telling what they're doing underground at CERN and at CERN. Yeah. Subversive says, it reminds me of how a spark gap can disrupt electrical circuitry and the flow of electricity. Yeah. You see, speaking of that subject matter, something I call terrestrial standing band wave electricity, okay? Or, yeah, that runs in the earth, okay? When you have winds blowing above the ground, a current of winds, or even water, you have a current, a flow, right? That creates electricity. It also charges the ground, the positive, the negative, the ground. And they know this, of course, and they know that they can use this and using various different technologies. Take, for instance, what happened in September back in, the '01 number year. And magically, 2 big buildings, even 3, building 7, but mainly let's talk building 1 and 2, right? They magically turned to dust. They were molecularly disassociated. The components that were building the building, of course, they knew part of the plan, they knew that there would be a day when they were going to do this magic trick, or should we say MAGA trick, because that's what the word means in Sanskrit, Hebrew, and most other languages in the world. And there happened to be a hurricane sitting right off the coast of New York City on that day, spinning exactly like a generator, generating huge amounts of power. And it would have taken huge amounts of power in order to make those buildings molecularly dissociate and turn to dust and pull off that MAGA trick, right? And then we have events like in Hawaii. Remember, all the wind was blowing real hard and the fires just magically started and magically just burned about everything up, right? You say, well, yeah, the wind causes fire to spread. Yes, but not for the reasons you think. You think it's just making the fire move over there. That's a component. But the real component is the electrical EMF energy that is being generated by the movement of the air above the ground. The ground, the negative, it creates an EMF field. That EMF field, well, fire likes it. And I did a video some years ago when Paradise, California was burned down, and you could see that they were able to create lightning from below, pulses. Remember that year, or maybe a year or two before that, they called it the year of the pulse. You could probably still look that up. The year of the pulse. It was the same year that there was the Bang Bang Shoot 'em Up in a club in Florida called the Pulse nightclub. Y'all guys remember that? And then they called it, I found it strange, they called it the year of the pulse. You see, if you have a lightning rod on your house, it's to keep the lightning from catching your house on fire, right? If the lightning strikes, the electricity will run through the whatever it strikes and hopefully go down the lightning rod to the ground and neutralize itself, right? Well, what happens if you have a reverse scenario? See, because when that happens, when the lightning comes from above, it will throw the switches in the house and everything's shut down. So hopefully no fires will take place, right? Well, the problem with the way the electrical system is set up in our homes across America is they're not set up to protect you from lightning from below. They're only set up to protect you from lightning from above. So if you could figure out how to create pulses of energy from below, you could run right up the lightning rod on your house into the circuitry of your home, burn it down without ever throwing the switch. Because the switches aren't set to throw in reverse. It doesn't work. Hey, electricians here? Subversive, you electrician? All right, so we're getting off subject maybe a little bit here, but really we're not. Let's keep going here. I have Leslie, who's been offering to help the show out here, and she's agreed to start going through all the comments, doing moderation, but more importantly, she's going to start doing things like this, screenshotting comments that are interesting and presenting them to me to go over on the show. And I thought we'd call it the Leslie Report, which is the report of all the interesting comments. And So there is that. But here's a comment that says our night sky, normally totally black for dark sky viewing, is still pale blue-green, never gets dark anymore, like a full moon in the dark of the moon. I have noticed this. Miss Kim has noticed this. I think she was the one that was bringing it to my attention. Like, what is up with the night sky? Because even when the moon has gone down and it's in the middle of the night, there's still some kind of light haze. And I know there's wildfire smoke out there, but it's something that I couldn't help but overlook. And I think we need to kind of pay attention. I'm pretty sure that we need to pay attention. So here's another one I thought was interesting. So has anyone noticed the sun at 6:30 a.m.? The sun is at the 11 a.m. position at 6:30 a.m. Then if you watch the sun, it seems to stop at 4 p.m. and it just sits there till at least around 5:30. So, well, you can see what she's saying, that there's something, according to her, and I think I'll check it out, that there's something weird going on. And there is something going on because it's getting daylight and the stars start to disappear really early, and the birds are singing when it's normally supposed to be nighttime still. There's supernatural things going on. Another person said, last night all my Bluetooth devices connected themselves at the same time. It was weird. And 6 people thumbed it up. That would be EMF related or planned technology related, I would think. But that is a very interesting observation, and it goes right along with the lines of things. What should we be paying attention to and realizing, okay, this is part of this rollout of their plan, right? But I thought that was interesting as well. And I imagine some of you probably heard that up in Kentucky, the cicadas have emerged again this year, and they're like really, really bad in Kentucky right now. I would imagine that there's some of you guys in here. Yeah, Mike, I've been hearing the birds late at night, sometimes when it's like really late, plenty like late, like 3, 4. You'll hear them still sometimes, and it's like, I've even seen some flying around, and it's like, what is going on? Just really strange stuff. Florida Hippie says, I heard a rooster crowing at 11:30 p.m. the other night, which is not normal. No, not really. I guess could happen. You got a crazy rooster. But they're supposed to know because they have an ethoid bone built right in their forehead, right below that crest that's on their head. Their ethoid bone is right there. And the ethoid bone is what gives them, gives all of us, supposed to give us all direction ability. Not just direction as to go this way. It's direction, it's ethics, it's everything in life to do with direction and where you're headed, right? And especially with birds, it helps them be able to know not only where they're at, but what time it is. Somebody else blowing a horn. Get a lot of horn blows around here. But yeah, what time it is. And so, yeah, rooster crowing like that is kind of weird. Kind of weird. So somebody else made a comment about the maximum overdrive. And so I thought I would take a look at it. And it's interesting. Y'all guys should get why this is interesting. Well, let me just read this. Wow, the cars reminded me a bit of the 80s movie called Maximum Overdrive. All the machinery came to life because of a comet. And in the depictions of this. Okay, let me pull up a Google here. Look at some images. I don't know if it'll show up, but we'll see. Maximum Overdrive. And look and see if we see any images that. Okay, so you see, remember how we've been talking about this green thing, this green comet thing, okay? And the main vehicle character in this movie, of course, is this green goblin devil looking thing, right? That's installed on the front of this truck. And as most of you know, we have been talking about how they're saying that Comet Atlas may be able to be seen in the night skies on around September 23rd this year again, because we've seen it naked eye months ago, but now supposedly it's going to be visible again, which don't make any sense to me for many reasons, but it makes sense in a different way, I guess you'd say. What I wanted to see is if I've seen it in the movie. They show like images of like a green aurora type sky, like where the sky kind of turns green. And I wonder if we aren't just seeing parts of the things that are kind of unfolding and coming ahead of them, as you might say. Let's look at this image here. See if we see anything here. I have a couple other images pulled up as well. I mean, we see the green demon deity looking thing here coming to get you. Kind of reminds me of Little Shop of Horrors, and it is related because they were talking about a comma in there, a comet as well. And we got a lot of green stuff going on. Let's see if we see anything else here. I'm looking for something showing the skies, kind of, is what I'm really looking for, because there were a couple of scenes or images that were put out and showed the skies that I just can't find right this second. I hadn't seen this before, and it might be nothing, but I'm going to look at it. It's a tarot card called Maximum Overdrive. And it's showing like it's using imagery, symbolism, and you can see on the left-hand side over here, there's like this green monster in the background. You see it on the left-hand side of the image there, which is that way. My camera's reversing me. On the left-hand side of the image, you can see a green-looking monster with legs and stuff on the left-hand side there in this imagery of Maximum Overdrive on this tarot card or tarot card type thing. And then you got all these robots and machines going crazy, right? There are no coincidences. That's for sure. That is interesting. Let's see if I see anything else like that. Not really. Okay. So now let's go ahead and look. I'm going to put this in like a slow motion, and then I'm going to turn the audio off so we can kind of see a little bit better what's going on here. I can't allow it to play more than a couple of seconds. But this is in Maximum Overdrive. This is it was a trailer, and it's showing this green electricity, this green light starts crawling all over this guy as it's coming out of a machine or some kind of game or something he's playing. You notice obviously all the red, but then there's the green like electricity. And let's see if I can. I don't really care about the sound really at this point. So you kind of see what's going on there. And the clock is at the 5 minutes till 10, or that would be 5 to 10. Okay. He's playing Star Castle is the name of the game, and some kind of an electrical anomaly happens. And this is, again, all from the trailer from Maximum Overdrive. So here we go. This is I don't know what this is actually. I haven't watched this. I've watched the movie before, but I haven't watched this trailer. So let's see what this is. Oh, it's a Coke machine that shoots a guy with a MAGA hat on in the stomach. So the Coke machine attacks the man with the MAGA hat on. And you say, well, that's not a MAGA hat. It doesn't say MAGA. Well, this was in like the 80s when this was done. Of course, they wouldn't show the MAGA maybe on it, but the red hat means exactly what it's supposed to mean. Coke machine is attacking. All right, so again, I have to pause it quite often. So here's the crowd at the diner, and all the trucks are sitting outside. This is like a truck stop diner. And for whatever reason, people got blood all over them. Blood on her, blood on him. Already, I guess some things have been some accidents already, right? Again, this is the trailer. Let's see. The Star Castle game that electrocutes him has cyclinoids on it. Hypocyclinoids. Let me see. It's got like, I guess you're talking about on the screen. It shows a star. Shows the star. It's called Star Castle, the game. And then you can see the star turns into a green circle. It comes up, it disappears. And then in the background, you got all these posters of truck stop type stuff. Anyways, thanks for pointing that out. So here we are back to here again. And let's walk forward and see what happens here. So a bulldozer, a Caterpillar, is pushing a car into the diner. So the Caterpillar is being ran by AI, basically. If all this went down, it would be an AI situation. They would blame it on AI going haywire. All the Teslas went crazy. Of course, inside the truck is green. I wish I could see what these little labelings say on here, but I can't make them out. And I'm already at the highest resolution that this video plays at. And of course, you see something you have to realize about your own cars. Most of the cars today, and likely most of the cars that you guys drive, well, you're not driving them. You might not realize it, but you're not driving them. You're giving input to the steering wheel, to the different devices like brake pedal, gas pedal. You're not, when you turn the wheel, you're not turning the wheels. The only wheel you're turning is when you have your hands on. You're not actually turning the wheels. What's turning the wheels, because your steering wheel on most of the modern cars, even ours, which ours is a 2008 Cadillac CTS, was about 265,000 miles on it. But even as old as it is, it's the computer unit that's in the car. It takes the input that you're giving the sensors on the steering wheel when you turn it like that, and it's telling the actuators in the car itself to turn the wheels this way this much, turn that way. Your steering wheel for most of the cars made since like about 2001 are not connected directly to the wheels. Neither are the brakes, neither is the gas pedal, neither it ain't like the old cars which you had a cable running down from the foot pedal for your gas. There was actually a cable that ran through a throttle that pulled backwards and forth like that, just like the throttle on your lawnmower. When you pull it, it pulls it and it makes it brrrr. That ain't what's happening. It's all ran by computer now. Yeah, Cadillac is metaphor for pride of its owner. Yeah, well, that's not the reason we have it. It's because it's the only car we could get at the time, so we got it. But what I would prefer to have and wish I had right now is a truck, an old truck, one that's not computerized. That's what I want. That is what I want. And thanks, Mike, and all of you, Curious George, and everybody for your comments. I'm trying to watch them as well. Uh, Joni says, talking about something, says they plan fake eclipses. They can't predict crap. Speaking of eclipse, we've talked about that a lot, done videos, whole shows on it recently about a unexpected eclipse that's related literally to what we're talking about today. We're just focusing on the car element today. Unexpected eclipse. This movie here overlays. See, because what causes all these cars to go crazy in maximum overdrive is there's supposedly a green comet in the sky that the Earth passes through its tail and all this kind of nonsense. Because none of that is based in reality. But it's based in reality in a way. So here we go. Couple just got married, and now this truck behind them. Let's see, trucks of this age back here, those kind of trucks can't do. The trucks, most of the vehicles that are in this movie actually cannot do this. But that Cadillac out there, it could. And especially all of these really newer stuff, especially the stuff that's already driving itself. There's no telling when, I mean, if you don't make a payment, it's going to drive itself back to wherever they want it to go. It'll just back out the yard in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day. It'll repo itself. Don't think so? I bet you it will, and they will. Emilio Estevez was in an anthology movie titled Nightmares, which was released in 1984, in which he gets trapped in an arcade game titled The Bishop of Battle. I don't think I ever seen that one. I'm sure you mentioned it for a good reason. But yeah, I haven't never seen that one. Nightmares, titled Nightmares, 84. I might check it out. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got some more stuff to look at here. So, of course, they get smashed. Uh-oh, here comes the green lawnmower. See, all this kind of stuff is symbolic. Okay. Now look at this green lawnmower coming. The front tires are not even touching the dirt. You see? But the green is all about this green monster coming, this comet, or whatever it ends up manifesting to be. It seems like there's this event that they know about that's going to take place, or either they're going to do it, manufacture it, of something showing up in the heavens that has to do with the color green. It may be associated or looking like it's a comet. And there ultimately will be widespread ramifications, is what it looks like, as to what they're, and I'm referring to multiple different shows when I'm talking about this stuff, all bunch of information that if you're just joining in, none of this probably makes any sense. So the lawnmower is attacking a man. Dixie Boy truck stop video game shower facilities 2 miles with a big green star on it. Big green comet. See how it's got this long tail going up? It's out of the picture where you can't see. It's not this the star. Star means angel, means deity. All the stars in the heavens are deities and angels. They hold the realm in its order. They sing. They create a frequency, EMF, that holds our reality together. In this case here, they're showing symbolism of something that looks kind of like a star, a green star, but with a long tail sticking up. And that again is symbolism for a green deity, like the green dragon coming. The dragon. Like in the movie, the animated movie I Pet Goat, they have Draco in there, which is the green long-tailed deity. That's depicting the same stuff as you're looking at here. They're just doing it in a different way. All right, just looking at the different scenes and seeing what they're showing. He's standing in a green doorway. See the paint on the door? Green. It's almost like he's in a gateway, a portal, a doorway. And he has a what looks to be a green, what are those called? You know, the shoulder-mounted rocket propelled grenade kind of deal. I think they called them a law, is what they called them when I was in the military many years ago. Let's see here. That scene took out the director of photography's right eye, really. I believe that SpaceX and all of the space programs have been putting a holographic projection devices up there all this time. It's not going to be hard for them, though. Yeah, and they're turning the heavens or the sky into fabric, which is already what it is. It's the firmament, or the fabric, the simplest of fabric. In Greek, the simplest of fabric is spoken as bow. Like the rider of the white horse had a bow. He had the simplest of fabric, and he had great authority, great power. And I've already done shows talking about that, how that's about them taking over the heavens and putting in a false reality, a false matrix, using all these satellites, and they're connected like a network above us. Once they get them all up there the way they want them, which they've got a ton of them up there already. And I'm sorry if you don't understand how that is actually a thing they can do. It's all about harmonics. You can take a grain of sand or BB or whatever you want, and you put it between two opposite, like an arc and an anti-arc, and it'll hold whatever in the middle right where it's supposed to be, motionless, unless the current changes. And it's the same way the satellites stay in the sky. When they get them up there, to get them on the node, and it will stay on that node until something changes to make it leave that node. This is how they make satellites fly. As much as I'd like to think they own just balloons or something like that, unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. So let's see what happens after this guy in the green portal doorway with the green missile launcher, rocket launcher. He's going to shoot the green truck. So they sure got a whole lot of green going on, don't they? Look, it's literally a green truck. See that? Let's see if we can see what the license plate number is. It says, looks like R3617W, or that could be B361. So that's like nothing jumps out at me too quick there. Mack truck, a green one. The theme of green just continues, don't it? And see the doorway back here, green. The house itself, green looking. Let's see what was on the side of that Mack truck. Let's see what it said. It said Sunny Glow Dairy. Now, a moment ago, the truck was green, and it was a Mack. Now, it's a Peterbilt, and it's white. How'd that happen? So he blows up the truck. Now, see all the green again? Now they're laughing, of course. What they're really laughing at is us, unfortunately. So now, here's your symbolism again. See the green comet up here? Long tail, tails point upwards. It's in the image of a comet, but also as a star, because stars are deities. Stars can be angels. And that's what you're looking at there. And this is symbolizing the green comet, the coming of the green comet, which is the coming of the green deity. It's like exactly what's depicted in iPet Goat 2. And also biblically about the dragon. You say, oh, the dragon's a red dragon. Well, he's red because he's spoken of as being red because he's wroth. He's mad. That's why the word red is used. It's not for color emphasis, it's for anger emphasis. What just happened? The lights started to go out just now. So we're looking, just seeing what I can see. And different symbolism things. We got the double door thing. We got a lot of green looking color. And the lights go out. Yeah, guys, it's just me. Or is this same pattern? I'm not manufacturing this. It's this same pattern of symbolism we're seeing over and over and over. Young guys, I can't be the only one seeing this. I've been getting these weird words in my head for the last few years, and one of them was green, and one of them was Clark. I didn't know what Clark until the movie Greenland. That was the name of the comet. Oh yeah, it was Comet Clark, right? And here it is in Greenland, and it's called Greenland. And it was a comet. Did they depict Florida hippie, what color associated the comet was? Or anything like that, if you recall. We might need to look at that a little bit. But yeah, Masonic symbol also, Mike, like you're saying. Uh, Dixiebot 88. You know, that would be Gematria. Uh, Sorry to hear about that, Stace. It's We're all in that boat, really, to be honest with you. They always seem to be in a store when the lights go out. It's just this repeating Greenland in the news. Yeah, why are they? And see, they work it like this. It's how they work their lesser magic, you might call it. They're talking about how Trump was talking about buying Greenland. Really? That has nothing to do with him buying Greenland. It has just as much to do with that as it has to be with like changing the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. It means nothing. But yet, why Greenland, right? And say, oh, it's because of the minerals, or it's this, or it's that. No, there's a higher level, much deeper level, you might call it, something going on there. So, good comments, guys. Good to see you, Oracle of the West, too. All right, so now we're back inside, looking at all the lights, looking at all the ceilings, all the symbolism. Can't really read what's on some of those things on the wall over there. Still got this green hue in some of the areas on here. Okay, now they're in the dark. So the trucks are now alive and driving themselves, and the cars and the Caterpillar truck, and then the lights flicker and go out. And there's all this green symbolism and green demon symbolism. I mean, this is looking like exactly like what we talked about in previous shows. Sorry, I really don't want to keep pausing it, but I have to. But it gives me a moment to catch up on the comments. Everyone knows green means go. Well, red means danger in nature, which is why they made the red lights red. It's a deep psychological thing that people understand. Yellow, of course, is kind of like, woo, caution. Green means go. Green means, yeah, thank you for the comment. Yeah, I'm sure they're able to manipulate the northern lights, Stace, like maybe even with HAARP and things like that. I mean, HAARP, the word HAARP itself, of course, it's an acronym, but if you think about it as a harp, see, a harp has 88 strings. Piano has 88 keys. There's a reason for that, because that's the full spectrum of sound that our ears can hear, that we can observe. And if you think about it, you always like see like a harp and depicted as like an angel strumming it. It's because that's symbolizing the angel is projecting frequency, just like what I explained to you. AC/DC, who did the score for Maximum Overdrive, had an instrumental track in the movie titled DT. This track was also on the soundtrack album Who Made Who? DT, huh? Wonder what they could have been referring to. And ACDC, of course, that stands for alternate and direct current as well. So it made sense symbolically for them to have them doing that. We're actually going to look at an album here in a minute that some people did. Let's keep going here. That's related to this, actually. And you can see when you start looking at it, it's directly related. It's amazing how much predictive programming they have put in out there for all this electrical chaos and the heavens being blacked out and a false matrix being put over us and looking like some green demon is coming out of the heavens. It's amazing how much they've done it. They did a lot for that day back in September, that year starting with a 1, but they really have gone off the charts with this one because it's the number 2 version of it. Just like I Pet Goat has the 2 after, means the second one is coming. So now we have Happy Toys. Here comes another load of joy. And it's a big green truck with a big green demon face on it. So you got the face up here, the head of it with a long tail, just like a comet. That's the symbolism of what you're looking at right here. This is symbolizing a green comet. I'd be willing to bet the farm on it that if the truth was known, that's exactly what it is. Oh, look. The green comet has a red tongue, red eyes, and his head is red up here. So he is the red dragon. He is the green comet. Okay. This guy's name is Duncan. He's fixing to get flattened. She just cut herself. The knife attacked her or something other. She spilled ketchup everywhere, which is supposed to be blood, I guess. There is all kind of stuff going on. Another scene here. Interesting floor pattern. It looks just like a matrix. It's a false metal matrix connected together just like the heavens are. It's all in geometrical patterns. I know somebody, I'm sure, thinks I'm stretching it. Bubba's private shower. They've got some more missile launchers, or another one here he's still toting it. Looks like maybe a machine gun or something other. This dude's sitting on the toilet, and the background is kind of green still. And, of course, you got your man bathroom thing, pornography on the walls. And a green hue in the color again. And here comes the green comet again, or steel, with his red head, red eyes, and red mouth. See, he's wroth. Remember Cain, when he got mad at God, he was wroth. He was wrath's child. That's why they use that name. Hopefully I'm not playing this too much. Come on, let's get to the next scene. What is that? Okay, this truck coming. Looks like I was just noticing this green right in the center of the windshield there. But I'm sure it's nothing. It's just a coincidence. It's a Mack truck Now they're running, getting in the car. The lights are out still. And still Mack truck coming to get you. The Green Dragon's coming to get you. But he's red because he's Roth. And let's see here. Then something blows up. Looks like they blowed up the whole place. So some storage area back in there. You got there's your green comet. Now you can really see it. Can you see why I said that's a comet now and that I'm right? It's a green comet. The whole movie's about a green comet coming and the lights and everything going crazy. We're already seeing the lights flashing around us. All over in the world it's happening. If y'all guys can catch any of this on video sometime on your phone, please get a hold of me and get me the footage so we can show it. Okay? You can easily get a hold of me by saving this number in your phone. Okay? Just save this number in your phone. You don't have to text me because I have to respond to every text that comes in. And then when I respond, it makes that person respond back again. And it might be about nothing. So just save the number in your phone. And if you ever have any need to send me something or get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me as long as the internet's still working anyways. All right. So let's look at this thing blow up, right? Let's see what we're looking at here. Oops. Did not mean to go through it that fast. Because I wanted to see more about what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. So we get the flash. Bang, boom. Because this could mean something too, literally. So that's why I'm looking a little closer. Look at that. That reminds me of what went down in was it Libya? No. Can't think of the name. That big pulse. Yeah, I know, but this is how you have to look at things literally sometimes when you're trying to really see, because they hide everything because they know your attention span is too short to do this kind of thing, to even see anything. But it's like, what is there to see? You haven't showed anything. Well, if you think that, if I haven't showed nothing and you're staring at a green comet right there, I don't know what to tell you. They were depicting all this crazy stuff that's starting to happen now upon the appearance of a green comet coming, which it apparently they talk about in the movie. It gets mentioned that there's a green comet. All right, so it all blowed up. Maximum overdrive. Let's look at exit. Oh, makes me wonder what it looks like, what maximum overdrive is in gematria. I think I actually looked it up, but I ain't gonna worry about that for the moment. Here is the CDC cover, you might say, or whatever, the image that they put out. And of course, the main image is this comet, this green demon, this green deity that's coming to get you, just like in the that other movie. And of course, you got the green comet over here depicted above the truck stop. You've got gas, which is $1.08 a gallon on the sign. You've got toilet paper laying all over the ground everywhere. Literally toilet paper over here on the lower right. You've got, oh, and there's a roll of toilet paper right there. So he's got a pair of keys in his hand. Keys. That sounds like biblical, doesn't it? Keys. Vows being poured out and being brought down. Would this be one of those moments when this plays out? I saw an angel. I think so. Ultimately, it's related. But what's unfair is that they know about these events. They have historical documentation because it's pretty obvious that these things repeat themselves. These cycles repeat themselves. Now, this is a Maximum Overdrive. Here is another depiction, I guess, according to Wikipedia, of it. Looks like here's a puppet master up here. He's got a puppet controller in his hand, and there are all these strings running down to all these trucks and cars. That is your internet connection controlling. That's your AI, and this is your AI, the hidden hand, the hidden puppet controller. And you can see that this is a depiction of the side of a truck, and it's split. The metal is split. That would have to have something to do with the tearing of the veil, something along those lines. All right, I ain't gonna bore y'all guys to death with too much of that. Of course, there's a lot of things you could read here and look into, and let's see if it mentions comet, the word comet, in this article. If I can. Why did it not show up? Finding page. I don't see the little search box I normally get. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that, actually. Don't know why it's not allowing me to search for it. Go the other way, 110, and do finding page. Normally it shows up right down here at the bottom of the screen. For some reason it's not. So we're not going to be able to do that. And for some reason it jumped me way forward too. Let's go back to Maximum Overdrive, this stuff. And I noticed there was an album that was created around, it was like a couple of years within the make of that movie, okay? It was called Maximum Overdrive. And it was from an album called No Limits, okay? And we can look at like the artwork a little bit there, okay? But more interesting, I pulled it up over here. There's some more artwork for the No Limits album. And of course you have the upside down inverted kind of thing going on. But if you come down and look at the name of the songs, like right down here, I think it is. Here you go. They're called No Limit, Tribal Dance, Mysterious, Faces, Overdrive, The Power Age. Now this is an album not related to Maximum Overdrive or these concepts of what we're talking about here. It shouldn't be, right? But we've got The Power Age, Break the Chain, Kiss Me, Bliss Me, Throw the Groove Down. There's one that's really interesting. I think I've seen it on here earlier, but let's see if I find it again. Throw the groove down. It's like the frequency, like on that KFC commercial when it was they were all dancing to the rhythm, and it said on the newspaper that was laying on the ground, "What the f? What's the frequency?" Throw the groove down. Are you okay? Let the beat. Oh, here you go. Let the beat control your body. That's directly related. And it's very possible when all this goes on, there at the same time or shortly after, let the beat control your body is possibly going to play out in ways that we've kind of talked about very recently. Invite me to trance. Where are you now? Shelter for a rainy day. Get ready for this. And then no limit again. Coincidence? If you think so, sure. Somebody else said they watched the movie Constantine, and according to the movie, malfunctioning lights indicate a spiritual presence. This is Constantine, Keanu Reeves, and I can't remember this girl's name. But let me make sure I've got the sound turned off for her. They're talking about the devil is literally what they're talking about. We don't need the sound. I just want to show a couple of pieces of the scene. So they're outside in the street and they're talking about whether the devil believes in you or do you believe in the devil. And then this happens. And again, I'm going to have to do some pausing. But this happens. And then, this happens. All the lights start going out. And again, they're talking about the devil believes in you scene. Okay. Who is the red dragon supposed to be? Somebody might remind me. Right? Who is the red dragon supposed to be or represent coming down? Let's back that up just a little bit if we can. Just want to see what that sign said. Might not be. Taco House number 8. Imagine that, number 8, symbolizing the full circle or full cycle. We're not going to spend too much time on this Constantine thing because I haven't really looked into it much at all anyways. But I did find it interesting because one of y'all guys brought it up. And here we go. Mother Mary behind the fabric or a matrix. And look what color the building is. Or at least the lights. Green over here. Coincidence? Doors on the car locked all by themselves or unlocked all by themselves. And no telling what's going to happen here. Are we running in craziness? Because the lights have went out. Let's scan down and see if we can see things a little bit better. Getting ready to fight or something along those lines. With the 12 stars upon her head. And the woman clothed in the sun with 12 stars upon her head. About to give birth. And the dragon was there. Is that not what we're talking about? And here it is again, symbolized right here in Constantine. But that's a coincidence, Daniel. Okay, if you say so. Oh, look at that guy. That looked like a nice green, whatever he is supposed to be. Basically, the demon coming out of the darkness, and he's green. Imagine that. So they knew he was there, so he lit fire to invoke his presence. But that's just a coincidence, Daniel. You overthink things. I don't think so. I hadn't previewed this. I've never even seen Constantine before. And of course, they've got Keanu Reeves playing his Neo role kind of again, fighting Darkseid, right? Like he's the one. And there's only one person that can do all this to fight, right? The good news for y'all guys is actually there are none of us that are helpless. With faith, we can do all things and do many things and are very powerful. With faith, but you have to have faith. You have to realize who you are, what you are, and what you are in the image of. All right, let me look back in the comments here real quick. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself there. Because I did say we were going to look at, I'll go back to the comments in a second. High frequency, talking about things that could be causing this stuff, right? I think it's a combination of several things, but like high frequency EMF or directed energy weapons, testing or use of them. Okay. That would be the man-made kind of thing. This is also man-made, like 5G or dense wireless networks. Again, those are all definitely could be involved. And again, this is all setting a stage in order to entrap the minds of the people into this MAGA act, this magic act, okay, that they're getting ready and already have started to put on. Presence of high energy conscious entities or deities across traditions, divine or interdimensional presence is often said to cause electrical anomalies like flickering lights, devices shutting down. This includes angelic as well as demonic presences, spirits, or so-called UFO or UFO or alien presence. Another possible thing is maybe portals or dimensional overlap. Strong energetic thresholds like ley lines or vortexes may affect electronics, similar to how some spiritual hotspots report magnetic anomalies. And then high collective conscious states like mass meditations or mass trauma events can subtly affect electrical fields. These are a list of devices or things that very easily could be affected by EMF fields like LED lights, fluorescent lights, smart or sensor-enabled lights, street lamps, especially if they're on a smart grid or with remote sensors. And we've seen all that going on and all flashing. All your consumer electronics like phones and tablets and TVs and computers, they're all going to be glitching and doing crazy stuff. So when you see this stuff going on, know that this is part of the magic act. And I can see, looks like light flashing behind me. I just see that. A little weird. All right. Also can affect, unfortunately, people's pacemakers. insulin pumps, and other kinds of medical devices. Automotive systems, especially newer models, uh, could have flashing lights or sensor misfires or ECU issues. The ECU is what controls the whole car to make it go like maximum overdrive, very possibly. Power grids and transformers, surges or feedback loops can cause burnouts, transformer failures. Y'all guys ever seen a transformer blow up? It's pretty exciting, but you don't want to get close to them or under the lines, with the electrical lines. That plasma can literally run down like water, and you don't want to touch that water. CCTV or surveillance systems, infrared cameras, motion control stuff can all be affected by fluctuation in EMF fields. Aircraft or satellite equipment, strong solar storms are known to interfere with avionics and GPS equipment. Clocks and timing devices can also be affected. Observational clues to help determine the cause. Localized. If it's localized, it likely means man-made or metaphysical. Widespread equals more likely solar or grid-wide. So like if you see very sporadic things going on, that's more likely either man-made or deity-related, like some type of deity being present in that location, or man-made, intentional, setting the stage for this MAGA trick. Okay, and if it's widespread, be more likely solar or something like that. But that widespread can also be man as well, man-made. They can turn off all the lights they want, and I've been noticing a lot lately how a lot of states, a lot of different areas, when storms roll through, there's just counties everywhere with huge numbers of people that don't have electricity. Well, that's normal, Daniel. Also, we should watch nature. Watch your animals. Watch how they behave. What are they watching? What can they hear? What are they seeing? How are they acting? Are they doing anything to give you an idea that maybe something weird is going on? Okay? Something weird is going on. And we all know something weird is definitely going on. All right. Let's see here. I appreciate all y'all guys for still being here. Hopefully I've made this worth your while and kind of giving you some things to think about. TV show that they used to come on called Supernatural that's loaded with symbolism. Yeah, I haven't. I've heard of that. Obviously, being I run the Supernatural show, Mike, but I've never actually seen it. I wouldn't mind checking some of it out. Would not mind checking it out. Stace says, look at today's price of poop paper and everything we consume. That's why they say by 2030 you will own nothing. And nobody's going to be happy. You'd be surprised what people can be brainwashed into accepting as okay. Wouldn't you? Just think about our world right now and what we allow to go on and accept it as okay. The majority of people out there still believe that the left and right political system is actually real, actually exists, that it's not all one system, separated and divided, because you have to divide the people in order to conquer them. That's called the, what's the name of the book? The Art of War. Yeah. Let me show you something. Nice little quinky dink. Nice little quinky dink. The Art of War. And I know you can't see it yet, but you will in a second. Okay, here's your Quinky Dink. The Art of War. This is using Gematria. It's the system of using numbers and letters in order to communicate. It's called the system that's used. If you look at the Art of War, and if you look at the art of the deal, if I've spelled all this correctly, somehow I'm spelling something wrong, because I've already done this before and I know what it equals. The Art of War, the Art of the Deal, the Art of the... Sorry guys, hang on a second. Let me see what I'm doing wrong here. The Art of War, the Art of War. By Sun Tzu, yeah. The Art of War, the Art of the Deal. Oh, I think I know what it is now. Yeah. The Art of the Deal, right? Similar to the Art of the War. The Art of War, right? But let's look at, you know who wrote The Art of the Deal? Donald J. Trump. Now look at the gematria mathematical matches for The Art of the Deal, which equals 888, which equals Donald J. Trump, which was 888. Just a coincidence, right? Many more details as to why it's all related to 88 and why it's associated with his name. It has to do with cycles and time and where we're at currently in time. Although time doesn't exist exactly. Mike said, Daniel, I think that show would be a great one to decode. It's loaded with you in your face symbolism, especially after it gets to about the 4th season. I'll see if I have access to it. I just can't sign up for any new membership stuff at all. I've got basically everything cut out. I'm even thinking about cutting out trash service. It costs $25 a month to get trash. And I'm even thinking I might have to cut that out because things are just so tight lately. Speaking of that, if you're new here, you haven't been here a while, but maybe you've never considered contributing to my work, the links are below the video, either in the more section, depends on what platform you're on, but the links are all below the video. And I am 95% funded by the public. I get about $150 a month from YouTube, from monetization. Everything else comes from y'all guys. Has been this way for at least a decade. So there's that. With that being said, guys, I am going to go ahead and get on out of here for today. I like it better when I have one of my co-hosts here, Miss Kim's, doing her thing and helping out a lot like she normally does. But Roxy will be back here in a day or so, by Friday at least, and I'm sure Shannon will be too. So special thanks to Miss Kim for holding the fort down today for everybody. She does a lot, and she doesn't get quite the credit she should. But with that being said, I love you guys, and we'll see you again here real soon on the Supernatural Show. See you Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around 2 o'clock. I love you. Father in heaven loves you. And we'll see you real soon.